I never thought being erased would feel like this, like I'd never existed at all. And yet, here I am, sitting on the cracked vinyl bench at Mel's Diner in my hometown of Cedar Falls, staring at a coffee that tastes like burnt paper, wondering if my family even remembers me. I'm 32, a bartender by night, a part-time Uber driver by day, living out of a one-bedroom apartment that smells faintly of old pizza and despair. And somehow, my own brother, my blood, has managed to rewrite the last 10 years of my life as though I were a ghost. I remember the last text from him. It was 3 weeks ago. Short, brutal. Don't bother coming home. We don't want you here. I stared at it for an hour in my car outside my apartment, windows fogging with the heat of my anger. My parents, my mom, who used to tuck me in when I was 12, and my dad, who pretended not to notice when I got into trouble, haven't called, haven't texted, haven't acknowledged that I exist. The diner door creaked, and I snapped out of it. Cindy, the waitress with her polyester hairnet and tattooed arms, came over with a fresh cup. "Rough night?" she asked, pouring cream into my coffee like she was trying to fix the world one pour at a time. "Rough life," I muttered. "You're looking for someone?" I hesitated. Should I tell her? That my family had cut me out like I was some bad investment? That my brother, Jake, the golden boy who graduated from law school with honors, had orchestrated this little social execution? I shook my head, just thinking. Outside, the neon sign buzzed, flickering open like a heartbeat I couldn't feel. I watched cars roll by, couples, families, strangers who didn't know my story, and I felt invisible. It hit me then. The worst part isn't that they don't want me. It's that I let them erase me. I had been too polite, too cautious, too damn loyal. And now I was nothing. The bell over the door jingled again. And that's when I saw her, my sister-in-law, Jessica, stepping in with that confident air that makes everyone around her feel small. The woman who had somehow convinced my parents that I was toxic. She smiled at Cindy, then scanned the room. Our eyes met. She froze for a split second, just enough for my heart to thud. And in that instant, I realized revenge doesn't have to be loud. Sometimes it's quiet, patient, like a storm waiting to tear through a town that's been pretending the sun is shining. I didn't know then what I'd do. All I knew was that I couldn't keep sitting here, watching them live my life for me. I spent the next week replaying that moment over and over, like a scratched record I couldn't stop. Jessica's frozen smile haunted me. I knew I couldn't just sit in Mel's Diner, nursing a coffee and my humiliation. I needed answers, and somehow I needed to make them remember me. So I drove home, or what used to be home. Cedar Falls had changed, or maybe I had. The streets smelled like rain and asphalt, the kind of smell that sticks in your hair and clothes long after the storm has passed. The old houses loomed familiar and strange. My parents' place, the one with the peeling white paint and the swing set that had been rusting for years, looked untouched, as if frozen in a photograph I wasn't in. I walked up the cracked walkway, heart hammering, stomach twisting. I could see the lights on inside. And then, like a punch, there it was, Jake's truck in the driveway. His truck. My brother's. The same truck he used to complain about my driving in. The same truck that now symbolized every memory he'd stolen. I knocked. Once. Twice. The door swung open, and my mom's face appeared. Her eyes widened, then softened into a hesitant smile. "Oh, hey, Mom." My voice was quieter than I wanted it to be. She stepped aside, letting me in, and the smell hit me. Vanilla candles, her perfume, a faint scent of laundry detergent. Normal, but wrong. Everything about this place was normal, and I didn't belong. "Your dad's at the shop," she said, voice careful. "Jake, he's busy." I nodded, my fists tightening at my sides. "I need to talk to you. Both of you." She hesitated, then said, "Not tonight. Maybe tomorrow." And that was it. The door closed, and I was left standing on the porch, rain starting to soak my jacket, feeling smaller than I had in years. The next day, I decided to take another approach. I started calling old friends, digging through social media, finding the gaps where I'd been erased. Birthday parties I wasn't invited to, family trips I wasn't mentioned in. Each picture, each post, felt like a nail in a coffin labeled me. Then I got a message from an old college friend, Kevin. "Hey man, heard some stuff about your family. Meet me at the Rusty Nail. 7 p.m. It's private." I didn't even think. I drove there, heart hammering. The Rusty Nail was a dive bar, sticky floors, neon lights buzzing overhead, the kind of place where secrets seemed to stick to the walls. Kevin waved me over. "Sit," he said, voice low. He slid an envelope across the table. Inside were photos. Jake with someone I didn't recognize, signatures, legal papers. They've been rewriting things, contracts, wills. You don't exist anymore in their world. I stared at the photos, hands trembling. The betrayal was palpable, like a punch I hadn't seen coming. My own brother, my family, literally erasing me. And then it hit me. I could either curl up and disappear like they wanted, or I could fight. Kevin leaned in. "You're smart, you're careful. But you've got to hit them where it hurts. Legally, publicly, however you can." I nodded, the first spark of something like hope igniting. "Yeah, I'm done being a ghost." Outside, the rain had stopped. The streets reflected neon signs and puddles, the distorted colors of a world I was ready to step back into. But even as I planned, a doubt gnawed at me. Revenge can backfire, can hurt the wrong people. But looking at Jake, at the way he smiled in those photos, I knew something else. If I didn't act, I would disappear forever. And this time, I wasn't letting them erase me. I showed up at their house that Saturday, carrying nothing but a folder of documents and a heart full of recklessness. The sky was gray, low clouds pressing down like they knew what was coming. I didn't knock. I barged in, my boots squeaking on the worn hardwood floors. "Jake!" I shouted before I even saw him. The sound of my own voice startled me. He turned from the kitchen, a coffee cup halfway to his lips. What are you doing here?" His eyes narrowed, disbelief written across his face. "I came to remind you I exist," I said, voice tight, but steady. Mom appeared behind him, hand over her mouth. "Son, don't," I snapped. "Don't tell me you didn't know he was erasing me." My eyes burned as I thrust the folder at Jake. Photos, contracts, texts, a proof. The evidence of every family trip, every birthday, every moment I had been wiped from their lives. He stared at it, then laughed short, sharp, a sound meant to wound. "You really think you matter that much?" The words hit me like a hammer. But I wasn't done. "I matter because I'm me. Not the version you want. Not the version you erased." My voice cracked. I could feel the rage and the hurt colliding inside me. Dad walked in from the garage, shaking his head. "Enough, both of you. This is family." "No, it's not family," I yelled, the sound bouncing off the walls like broken glass. "This is a corporation, and I was just an asset you could liquidate." Jessica stepped forward, her eyes cold, calculated. "You're overreacting." I felt something inside me snap. Overreacting? Overreacting is being told by your own brother that you don't exist. Overreacting is realizing your parents let it happen. The room went silent, the kind of silence that makes your ears ring. I could hear my own heartbeat. Then Jake, for the first time, looked unsure, hesitant. "You think you're going to ruin us?" he asked, voice low. "I don't want to ruin you," I said, chest heaving. "I want you to see me, to acknowledge that I'm still here, that I'm not some mistake you can just delete." Mom's hands trembled. Dad looked like he wanted to say something, anything, but couldn't. And Jake, he turned, his back stiff, his jaw tight. I left the house that day, rain starting again, cold droplets soaking my jacket, soaking me in a mixture of relief and dread. I hadn't gotten the apology I wanted. I hadn't restored the past. But I had spoken. I had taken up space. And sometimes that's the first step to taking back your life. As I walked down the street, puddles reflecting the neon glow of the town's modest signs, I realized something terrifying and liberating. I could choose how to live from now on. Not their version, not their erasure. Mine. But then, a message buzzed on my phone. "Jake, 2 words. We talk. And just like that, the storm I thought I'd started was far from over. I sat in my car outside a small coffee shop on Main Street, staring at the flickering open sign, my hands wrapped around a cup that had long gone cold. Jake hadn't texted back after the "we talk" message, and part of me wanted to drive away, forget the whole thing, disappear like I used to. But another part, the part that refused to be erased, wanted to face it. When he finally walked in, the place smelled like roasted beans and damp leather chairs. His eyes met mine, and for the first time in years, I didn't see arrogance. I saw guilt, fear, maybe even shame. "You came," he said quietly. "I did," I replied, voice steady despite the storm inside me. We sat in silence for a long minute, the hum of the espresso machine filling the void. Then he spoke. "I screwed up," he admitted, the words almost foreign on his lips. "I thought I was protecting everyone. Mom, Dad, even you. I didn't know how to deal with you being different. I was scared, I guess. I wanted to punch him. I wanted to shake him. But instead, I just breathed. Different? Jake, I'm your brother. Not a problem to fix. Not a ghost to ignore. I've been living my life in the margins while you pretended I didn't exist." He looked down, jaw tight. "I know, and I can't undo it. But I want to try. If you'll let me." I felt a rush of conflicting emotions. Relief, anger, doubt. Could I forgive him? Could I let him back into my life after everything? My gut told me to walk away to protect myself. But my heart, my stubborn, aching heart, wanted connection. "I don't know if I can forget," I said finally. "But I can try, if you're really serious. No games." He nodded. "No games. I want to make it right." And just like that, something shifted. The storm didn't disappear. It never would. But the air felt lighter, like I had finally spoken my truth. I realized then that erasure isn't just being forgotten by others. It's letting yourself be forgotten, letting your life shrink into shadows. I refused that anymore. As I left the coffee shop, the autumn air smelled sharp, crisp, full of possibility. I didn't know what the future held. Maybe reconciliation, maybe more fights, maybe moments I'd regret. But I did know one thing. I was here. I existed. And for the first time in a decade, I wasn't just surviving. I was living. And maybe that was the ultimate revenge. Not to hurt them, not to destroy, but simply to reclaim my life and refuse to be erased.